They were holding hands. That was all it took. One quiet afternoon in Woodstock, Vermont, turned into a global media frenzy when Tom Cruise, 63, and Ana de Armas, 37, were spotted walking side by side, fingers intertwined, smiles unguarded. No red carpet, no movie premiere. Just a stroll through a sleepy New England town that suddenly became the epicenter of Hollywood's latest, and most unexpected, romantic reveal. Witnesses couldn't believe what they were seeing. The mission: impossible legend and the blonde star casually sharing ice cream, browsing antique shops, and soaking in the summer air like any couple in love. No assistants, no bodyguards, no disguise. Just Cruise and de Armas, openly embracing the kind of moment they've both spent years avoiding. And in doing so, they confirmed what fans, tabloids, and insiders had only dared to speculate. This isn't just a friendship. This is something real. Already, the relationship is drawing comparisons to Cruise's past romances, with Penelope Cruz, Nicole Kidman, and Katie Holmes, all of which played out under intense public scrutiny. But what sets this particular connection apart is the sheer modernity of it. Ana de Armas, who shot to international fame with breakout roles in Knives Out and Blonde, represents a new Hollywood, global, genre-fluid, and unapologetically authentic. Cruise, meanwhile, stands as the last of the old guard, a legacy star whose name still opens blockbusters and who performs death-defying stunts well into his 60s. Their pairing is unexpected but undeniably captivating, a cross-generational, cross-cultural collision of two entirely different cinematic eras. On the surface, the pairing may seem strategic, two actors reportedly collaborating on the upcoming psychological thriller Deeper, produced by Doug Liman and Christopher McQuarrie, both frequent Cruise collaborators. However, those close to the production say that off-screen chemistry quickly became impossible to ignore. Inevitably, fans began dissecting the symbolism of their Vermont escape. Woodstock, known for its tranquil landscapes and understated luxury, isn't a typical paparazzi hotspot. It's a place chosen with intent, a haven for those seeking discretion. That made their decision to be seen in public even more significant. According to witnesses, there were no assistants, no entourage, no bodyguards in sight. Just Cruise in a charcoal pullover and jeans, and de Armas in a white tee and fitted black trousers, both laughing, touching, sharing glances that said more than any official statement could. The body language was warm, familiar, unmistakably intimate. A source from CBS News suggested the walk was clearly staged in the most natural way possible, a paradox that only heightens the allure of their blooming connection. Ultimately, what makes this moment so magnetic is its timing. With Cruise entering the final phases of his mission, Impossible Saga, and de Armas solidifying her standing as a serious dramatic lead post-Blonde, both actors stand at personal and professional crossroads. This romance isn't just another Hollywood fling. It could signal a profound shift in both of their narratives, redefining how they're perceived not just as stars, but as people. In a world driven by algorithmic virality and fleeting PR cycles, this old-fashioned walk in the park may have just rewritten the rulebook on modern celebrity romance. What changed everything wasn't just the sight of Tom Cruise and Ana de Armas walking hand in hand, it was where and how they did it. In an era when celebrity relationships are curated like brand campaigns, their Vermont outing was disarmingly sincere. But that candor didn't come without consequences. Within hours, gossip outlets exploded. Photos snapped by stunned locals began circulating online, and soon CBS News, Page 6, and LS 40 were running headlines with one unanimous message. It's official. With the confirmation came a storm of opinions, of speculations, and of resurfaced histories. For Cruise, a man whose relationships have long been intertwined with controversy, especially those involving Scientology or abrupt divorces, the newfound romance was met with both excitement and skepticism. For de Armas, the reaction was equally polarized. Fans praised her boldness. Critics accused her of entering a calculated relationship to elevate her position among Hollywood's elite. The clash of narratives turned a simple ice cream date into a cultural lightning rod. Behind the cameras, the buzz created complications neither star may have expected. Sources close to de Armas told the Times of India that she was stunned by the speed and volume of the reaction, especially in the Spanish-speaking press, where her every move garners fierce attention. Cruise, reportedly unbothered, saw it as inevitable, telling an unnamed insider via El País that fame is the cost of intimacy in public. But not everyone was aligned. Rumors began circulating that Cruise's team had choreographed the outing, aiming to rebrand his image ahead of award season and before the launch of Deeper. De Armas's PR team, meanwhile, was blindsided. While they supported the relationship privately, they hadn't planned for an immediate public reveal, let alone one triggering such a polarized wave of reactions. Their internal communications, according to leaked messages reported by The Hollywood Reporter, reflected concern over de Armas's emotional vulnerability and how the unexpected spotlight could affect her career trajectory. Complicating matters, this wasn't the first time Cruise had sparked headlines for allegedly love-bombing a co-star. Katie Holmes and Penelope Cruz both became public obsessions when their romances with Cruise unfolded, and each story followed a similar arc. Sudden intimacy, high-stakes public appearances, then a quiet but dramatic unraveling. Could Ana de Armas be next? That's the question tabloids started asking within 24 hours. Meanwhile, on social media, fans split into factions. On X, formerly Twitter, hashtags like #CruzDeArmas and #AnaRun started trending simultaneously. Reddit threads speculated everything from an elaborate PR stunt to a genuine midlife reinvention. The emotional tone of the discourse began to shift, from curiosity to concern. What made things worse was the eerie silence from both parties. No statements, no Instagram posts, no clarification, just a growing void filled with speculation. For a romance that started so visibly, the absence of context became deafening. Hollywood insiders weighed in. A viral TikTok theory posited that the romance was a strategic narrative insertion designed to soften Cruz's action star persona. Others suggested that de Armas, still nursing the public wounds of her relationship with Ben Affleck, might be setting herself up for yet another heartbreak under the harshest possible lights. As days passed and more blurry photos emerged, this time of them entering the same boutique hotel late at night, the question grew louder. Is this a fairy tale unfolding or a disaster waiting to happen? And yet, despite all the noise, neither of them blinked. They stayed quiet. They stayed together. And in doing so, they transformed the initial spectacle into something more complex, more human, and far more difficult to predict. Then, suddenly, the dynamic between Tom Cruise and Ana de Armas shifted from tabloid curiosity to emotional powder keg. On July 28th, just 2 days after their quiet walk through Vermont's countryside ignited a media wildfire, both stars vanished from public view. Paparazzi staked out Los Angeles, New York, and even Madrid, but there was nothing. No new sightings, no follow-up statements. And yet, silence didn't mean calm. Far from it. In Hollywood's buzzing inner circles, whispers turned into theories. Was Cruise retreating to exert control over the narrative? Was Ana overwhelmed by the unexpected avalanche of attention? Industry sources hinted at late-night meetings between their respective teams. What began as a romance now looked increasingly like a chess match of perception, power, and legacy. Meanwhile, Cruise's past began to haunt the present. Outlets like Variety and Insider republished profiles examining the actor's highly managed relationships over the years. His history with Nicole Kidman, the swift marriage to Katie Holmes, and his infamous Oprah couch moment were brought back into circulation. De Armas, despite her rising star and acclaimed roles in Blonde and Knives Out, found herself reduced to headlines that called her Tom's latest. The reduction stung. Fans noticed and rallied. Her defenders flooded comment sections, calling out the double standard in how her romantic life was being framed versus Cruise's. The social media narrative began to fracture. Half the internet romanticized the couple as an unlikely love story. The other half painted Ana as the next casualty in Cruise's carefully engineered mythology. Then came the bombshell. An anonymous source, reportedly from de Armas's inner circle, leaked to the cut that the actress was emotionally exhausted by the whirlwind. The source claimed she hadn't anticipated the machinery that follows Cruise, a phrase that triggered immediate reaction online. What machinery? Did she mean Scientology? PR manipulation? Surveillance? Threads on Reddit and TikTok spiraled, with armchair investigators linking past Cruise behaviors with new footage, such as a grainy video that appeared to show Ana looking visibly upset during a private car ride in upstate New York. Was it tension? Was it paparazzi stress? Or was it something darker? And just when it seemed the worst had come, new surveillance footage from a Vermont boutique surfaced. TMZ published the exclusive clip, showing the couple days before their disappearance. Cruise looks unusually tense. Ana looks down, barely smiling. Body language experts chimed in. This is a relationship under strain, one YouTube analyst claimed, noting how Cruise's physical proximity seemed more performative than affectionate. Within hours, the narrative shifted again, from fairy tale to facade. Hollywood hadn't seen a romance this dissected since Brangelina, and still, no one from either camp offered a word. That silence, strategic or genuine, was now fueling one of the most talked about celebrity stories of the summer. In the end, what could have been another empty Hollywood romance bloomed into something deeper, a cultural moment. One that forced the public to examine how we view power, silence, and performance in celebrity relationships. Ana de Armas may have entered this chapter as Cruise's rumored girlfriend, but she exited it as something much more. A symbol of emotional intelligence in a town addicted to spectacle.